Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We, as today's proposition, have structured our case as follows. I, Rijal as the first speaker, will define the topic of the debate for today. Our second speaker, Ahmad Maulana Jibriel, will elaborate on the fact that social media decrease face-to-face social interaction. And our speaker, Pratama Wulandari, will do the rebuttal. Now, we, as today's proposition, strongly believe that social media decreased face-to-face social interaction. As the popularity of smartphone began to increase, social media began to adapt at operating on a cell phone through the use of applications that can run more efficiently on a smartphone. As of today, there are a little over 270 million people that live in Indonesia, 61.7% of whom own a smartphone. This means 170 million people have access to social media anywhere at any time. Furthermore, a significant amount of people still access these websites by computer. Social media has led us to have fewer interactions with the people that they associate with. The majority of people have access to social media at any time they please via their smartphones. So this only worsens as more people begin to acquire smartphones. Since it has become more prevalent, social media has made more people have a tendency to want to interact with people online rather than in person, because it has made the process a simpler process allows for things to be done easier and more efficiently, which attracts more people to give it a try. Although it may be viewed as a positive change, this is more antisocial than ever before. Another major downside of social media with regards to face interactions is cyberbullying. Social media is one of the foremost causes of cyberbullying in recent years. People that have become exposed to repeated emotional distress are being affected a lot more than just online. After they become a victim to cyberbullying, they believe that if they go to public and try to be sociable, they will be judged in the same light that they were online. As a result, they never fully involve themselves with society and lack the proper communication skills necessary to function. So we, as today's proposition, strongly believe that social media decrease face-to-face interaction.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the Syafira Nurcahyani as the first speaker. Our second speaker is Meisya. I'm totally disagree with what the affirmative tell. I think social media did make the world a smaller place. Now we have more information, more knowledge, and have better opportunity to use it. Social media improve our ability to absorb information. What would have seemed to be overwhelming to some years ago is normal to us. We have an extreme case in processing, and we are evolving quickly. A social network have become truly rooted in the modern culture. People have woven network into their daily routine using Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, online gaming, environments, and other tools. Social networking makes it very fast. Young people are motivated to learn from another, not each other than from knowledge. It makes kids more networking than ever. It's easier for kids to make friends with people all over the world, most of whom they will never ever meet without this technology as friends. Ladies and gentlemen, the positive effects of social are according to a Harvard study, routine social media use is positively associated with social well-being, self-health, and mental health. We just need to be mindful user and keep a healthy perspective about social media's role in our lives, that we can use it to inspire, educate, show empathy, and become a better communicator. Well, social media provide many benefits, such as giving students the chance to express themselves creatively, opportunity, and also the chance to connect with other social media.
I'm not disagree with the opposite because Sherry tackle a cultural analysis dedicated to studying human technology relationships, coined that above press in TED Talk, which describe the cultural desire of our teens to interact online to the point of neglecting those around them to focus on their device. Even in some cases, a student wanders and instead uses their device to play game or check their parent status. It eventually forms a pattern that causes students to become addicted to social media. Besides, it's different from when you meet face to face that you are will brave technology confiance of technology make students easily depressed. There is no time, so they prefer to isolate themselves to be antisocial and people, including their own families. It results in a breakdown. It results in the breakdown of a relationship and even destroys the relationship. Social media also make us often compare ourselves with others, which lower our confidence. As a result of their lower level of self-confidence, their interaction become tenuous. In addition, the sense of caring for the surrounding has also decreased distractly due to self-esteem, which is influenced by social media. In addition, most cyber interaction encourage us to find fault with someone. It is an example of improper interaction. It makes people tend to feel ultimately afraid and depressed, and even create social isolation that distance them and others.
Okay, I'm Hanna Silviana, second speaker from opposition team. I don't agree with the argument just now. When the country there is such a social media is very wide, in my opinion. If there is extraordinary claim, then there must be an extraordinary proof. There are many examples that you have given, but in fact, all of them are seen and judged negatively. Social media can be placed for this what feel they have shortcoming is from for us introvert play social media. Is it introvert play social media from introvert to want to be open? Social media is very important nowadays because can be placed for everyone and free to speak and free to express with the notice fitting reasonable limits but releasing the everyone from all weeks of live social media. Why? Because it's very important whenever it's just a need for feed or to see even many people who gets mad, we can send message quickly. Now try to imagine if there is not social media, you are in very critical situation that needs to send message to people who are far away and must be received at the time. Will you use letter by post that can arrive in days? From the example just now, social media is very useful today. We shouldn't focus too much on negative things. It's social media doesn't limit social interaction. If an expand social interaction, social media will not make people lazy because if people are basically lazy, you will still be lazy. The simple analogy is like this: if in one apple tree is rotten apple, which tree is throw away? No, surely the rotten fruit is deserve the money bit if the social media are not because of social media itself. And conversely, the many good things from social media do not mean social media itself, but how do we use it? Thank you.
Okay, I'm Vyra Pratama Wulandari, the third speaker of government team, and I don't agree with the argument just presented by the opposition team. I think social media can also be a scary and dangerous place for many people. Today, many people absorbed in technology and communicating through social media that they rarely have face-to-face interaction. Social media has had a hard effect on social interaction and has changed the style of communicating drastically. Social media has negatively affected social interaction and has caused them to overshare information, neglect to form strong relationship and lessen their interpersonal skill. Social media has had a negative effect on social interaction. Social media makes people feel more inclined to share personal information or say certain things that they wouldn't normally say in person because they are behind a screen. Keller described the false sense of true we feel on social media in saying, first, when we communicate through social media, we tend to trust the people on the other hand of the communication. So our message tend to be more open. When people are talking online, they tend to feel that the information they are sharing will be kept confidently and could never be shared with the world. However, this is not because information that is shared on the internet can be spread and seen by thousands of people. When people put this personal information on the internet, it could be harmful to them in the future and could be seen by future employees, company, and peers. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Meisya. I'm from third speaker of opposite team. I refuse and disagree with the government statement because at this time we have entered what is called the digital era or revolution 4.0, and the role of social media is gradually getting higher in society. And then there are so many functions of social media that have a positive impact, especially for the youth of the country. The first function of social media for teenagers is that it can be used as a place to socialize. Needless to say, social media keeps people connected. The two are close even though they are stretched by distance and time. Good enough for teenagers who want to socialize more widely. We also don't have to bother going here and there. With just one touch, you can connect with each other. Especially now that we have not clear that social media is needed to be able to interact with one another without endangering each other. In addition, the further function of social media can be where many creative ideas and earning can also find lots of new innovation that have sprung up on social media. Frequently, you can get tips, tricks, hints, and also material for tutorial on social media, such as Google or material presenter application. And many influencers also share their academic skills by providing several tutorials. Honestly, we just need to search and find those ideas. Here we draw the conclusion that social media doesn't always have many negative effects as explained in the reply to the argument we conveyed earlier. On the other hand, social media actually gives us the freedom to express ourselves, to be more confident in appearing in front of the public. In addition, social media also brings many business that positive impact. Namely bringing in money and maintaining communication, such as communication between the buyer and the seller. So we still don't agree that social media can decrease the impact of social interaction. Thank you.
Okay, in the end, the government team still thinks that social media decreases social interaction. The government team mentioned some of the negative impacts of social media. There are can make someone have an antisocial attitude because they just stare at their smartphone screen every day. The access of cyberbullying that makes the victim afraid to interact with other people, indifferent to the environment, easier to get desperate, tends to make someone become an introvert, change the style of communicating drastically, be scary and dangerous place for many people because could overshare personal information or say certain things that they wouldn't normally say. It is hoped that from this argument, everyone can wisely use their social media if they don't want the negative impact to appear. Thank you.